Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick L. Young, here with Toffee the Bunny. Now, Toffee the Bunny a couple of days ago was found under a car. He was a stray rabbit. Soon he will go to adoption. But in the meantime, we've been enjoying his company and indeed allowing him to make these videos with us, which I think has added some colour and excitement, particularly during the course of time when we were having tricky negotiations with Toby over his new contract. So, when Toffee arrived with us, he needed a bit of cleaning up. He needed a little bit of cleansing. When you lurk underneath cars, when you've been astray for a few days, obviously you can end up being somewhat dirty when you're on the mean streets of the big city, all alone, looking for carrots and finding that they don't tend to grow out of the tarmac. At the same time, when we look at where we are with the economy at the moment, that too is facing a great cleansing. I don't just mean the idea of the recession. What I mean is, well, hark back to something I was talking about a couple of videos ago. I was talking about how in Hong Kong, various office buildings and malls are now deploying a lot of robots because robots don't spread disease, and therefore because they don't breathe in the same fashion of humans and therefore give us the virus, you don't have to socially distance from them, and as you don't have to socially distance, you can stand next to them and talk to them, or indeed you can let them loose to clean somebody's office while the human is in there, and that all means that the economy can work more efficiently. This is a big deal, not just the idea of robots, the idea of the whole way that when we go through a recession, there is always a period of cleansing. And by that, I don't just mean the cleansing of the vacuum cleaning robot. What I mean is the economy is going to find a huge amount of dead wood. And therefore, there are going to be many companies. Some of them may even be, good grief, banks that have been surviving on government cash for the course of the last 12 years after suffering effectively semi-terminal injuries during the great meltdown of 2008. There are a lot of zombie companies that are often to be found at the top of the market. They are companies that are being run where people are hoping that some better upturn will befall them, or on the other hand, they can manage to create some sort of a pivot, which is a movement into a new area of business, and that can take hold, allowing them to have further green shoots of recovery, which will allow their business to survive and thrive. Every time we go through a recession, the economy that comes out the next side is going to be larger, but also very different. And that's something you have to take away, because we cannot take for granted the idea that all of the great shares and stock names of January the 1st, 2020 are going to be the same names as are going to be the great stocks of, say, January the 1st, 2030. If you actually look at something like the major indexes of stocks the world over, well, I mean, the Dow Jones index, the granddaddy of them all, basically none of the stocks that were in the Dow 30s industrials were there on day one. And in fact, many of the companies which have disappeared over the course of time are great names, illustrious names, the Duesenberg and Auburn motor companies, for example, who made fabulous cars that nowadays people pay rather large amounts of money for at auction, but of course didn't survive the Great Depression. Over time, huge numbers of companies simply disappear. Some merge with others and some of them go bust. That's a whole process, and the process of cleansing as the economy goes forward means that we're in a situation that the economy will look different. That means it will look different also from an investor perspective. What I mean by that is some banks are going to find a great way to do much better digital business during the course of the recession that we would appear to be in now. Other companies are equally going to get their digital process together and be much more efficient. In those cases, they're going to be stronger coming out the other side of recession. That's going to change fundamentally how attractive they are for investment, and that's going to change the whole shape of the economy. If you look at something like, say, for example, a tourist economy like Malta, where tourism is essentially one of the top sectors of the overall economy, what will tourism look like in 5 years' time? Probably very different. It's quite feasible that Malta, which for a long time has survived on relatively low priced and therefore low margin tourism, is gradually going to reshape into a more upmarket destination. More upmarket destinations tend to have an overall better return, but obviously it takes time to get there because during the course of time, luxury resorts are not so popular when we're in the depths of depression. But of course, as the recession gradually ends and as we go towards economic growth, people want to treat themselves, people have some money for luxury, and therefore things will become more interesting, more exciting, more juicy in terms of profits. So what I'm trying to say today is, whatever way we look at it going forward, You cannot ever presume that the economy that we went into recession with is going to be the same one that we come out of recession with. Equally, where we go into a stock market kerfuffle will always change over time, largely because it takes time for the wounds of recessions to heal. And therefore, by the time those wounds have healed, the world has moved on. And that's why, with technology moving at such a pace, it's very exciting to think of what's going to be the major opportunity of the next huge bull market, which may be just around the corner. It may be some time away, who knows? But all the same, as the economy comes out of recession, it will be totally different. And that's why I talk about a great reckoning in the reshaping of the economy per se, because what we must look at is industrial names will die, industrial names will survive, some industrial names will thrive. But it will be a different looking economy going forward. And therefore, as investors, we need to be thinking about what are going to be the stocks that are going to be great things to buy in 2030, as opposed to what were the great things to buy in 2019 or 2020, no matter how the stock market performs in the near future. My name is Patrick L. Young. I would like to say a huge word of thanks to Toffee the Bunny, who's been a fantastic stand-in this show for a number of days, and we have thoroughly enjoyed his company, her company possibly. We're really not sure still whether this is a male rabbit, a female rabbit, maybe something in between, perhaps. Well, maybe her auburn colouring gives it away. Perhaps this is a trans ginger rabbit, who knows? However, Toffee, we've talked about Fibonacci, we've talked about rabbits and markets, we've talked about much else besides. My name is Patrick L. Young, signing off with Toffee the Rabbit. Thank you for watching IPO video. We will be back with another video soon.